And all the roads we have to take are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. 'Cause maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're
Something clear
my
isn't right. You call it out. Adam and Sammy are really good at that. I do it, but I feel like you some days just don't want. Yeah, some people just.
today was gonna be the day that they'll never throw it back to you.
I feel like we just have two extreme opposites when it comes to how people want to resolve conflict in our group. We're at kind of two polar opposites. There's a couple of people that fall in between. But you have people, Caden, Caden and Smokey, I feel like, are the two that kind of fall more on the logical side of things. I don't even know if there's anybody else that fall on the logical side, like, completely that way. Like, I get there's times where you're gonna have to big dick people, and you're sometimes even gonna have to big dick people when you bluff. You're gonna have to bluff. I think, I'm gonna be honest, I think us going to war with CG very early on, I think was a good call, because I think it got us noticed very well. And regardless of how it put us in a situation in roleplay where it put us down bad, I still think it got us noticed. Which I'm not ever gonna, like, complain about. But I think ever since then, we've kind of been in this position where we need to kind of recollect and gather our resources. And even though we're not going to flat out war with things, we were slowly bleeding because of little skirmishes with, like, BB and shit that hurt us. No, I agree. Sammy is a hothead. Alex is a hothead. Dante is a hothead, but I think Dante is starting to kind of... I think Dante's kind of slowly starting to get better. One thing I noticed the last few days, or the last couple weeks, Dante is starting to see Caden's side a little bit more with things, when I feel like Dante was very, like, very much like, everything Piper says is like, is law. And I think he's finally kind of questioning her on things a bit more now. But I think Dante is still, like, when Dante gets wronged, I think he wants to go out fucking for blood. But when it happens to other people, he's very much more reasonable. So, like, and Caden's also that way too. So, I think there's just polar opposites when it comes... I think we have a lot more hotheads in our group than we do level-headed people. Ginny's somewhere in the middle as well. To be a balance between being hot-headed and being quote-unquote like a content group, and being smart about the future and progression of the gang. There needs to be middle ground with that. She turns to shooting or stabbing me, but I call her out and she hates it. It's just the stone cold truth. I think that's just kind of the issue with you not being high command. I think if you're high command, that probably wouldn't happen as much. The thing is like, Caden kind of knows that he can push against Piper because, one, he's second, and two, he's, like, married to her. He's well aware that he can push those buttons on her and push against things more than anybody else can, because he knows he can get away with it. Otherwise, he wouldn't do it. So like in that way, like I'm not calling Caden a perfect character. Like Caden has his flaws. I think Caden does push his luck a lot with how much he kind of pushes Piper. But also like Piper has very much changed the mindset of how Caden does things as well. Like, Caden used to be the same way. Anything that Piper said, Caden agreed and was like, hey, that's law. That's how that's how it should be. But he slowly realized, like, the flaws in Piper and how she leads. And he's called her out on it a lot. He's slowly come to this realization that she's manipulative, she lies to even, like, her own people if it means her looking like the good guy, or like to not take accountability. He's very well aware of these things, and that's why he calls her out on it. Because nobody else can do that, even the rest of High Command, without something happening to them. I actually wish I knew who actually shot me down. Oh wait, look, the whole backstory of like, hey, who shot your eye out? All I can say is, oh, it was CG and ESB. I don't know who specifically who it was. I'm assuming it was probably Rami or one of the other ESB guys, because they're the ones that came over to me after they dropped me. So. That's why I call myself the janitor. I'm the cleanup guy, and to be honest, don't think I can go any higher as my character. I don't know. If I had to like really kind of list like Smokey's kind of flaw, I do think he oversteps a lot when it comes to like telling the truth. Like, I get that Smokey's gonna be honest, but Smokey also being honest is gonna put him in a situation that people in High Command are gonna kind of aren't gonna like, of him trying to like do and say that kind of thing, if that makes sense. Dude, I don't have a gun at all now. I am fresh out of guns. Can't remember if I had an empty military backpack. I don't think I did. If I did, it's gone. I got robbed, but... I refuse to let Smokey be stepped on, but I will listen to what's needed, and I do things others don't. so the guys can be in a better position or on better scenes. Yeah, the mindset I've always had for Caden is to listen to what other members say and then bring it up the Piper so that they don't have to and feel like they're overstepping. Like, Caden has that ability to